the last session we have talked about the amotivation, motivation, intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation, and now we will take further this particular session on motivation, because unless and until there is no motivation, there will be no willingness to have a good relationship at the workplace. And for this purpose we will talk about now the theoretical concept of the motivation. Yesterday we have talked about in the last session about that particular aspect of the defining the motivation theories. Now we will discuss the theories of motivation, and in the defining motivation we will talk about the processes that account for an individual's intensity, direction and persistence of efforts towards attaining a goal. Now here we have to also understand the first and foremost, that is about the goal, that is what is the goal is there. And when we talk about a goal, then this goal will be decided on the basis of the how much we are putting the driving force to attain the goal, and this driving force is having the intensity. So therefore, if we talk about the driving force, then driving force will be having this intensity will be there, right. And then in that case it is also possible, that is this intensity, the direction is towards the goal. Suppose the intensity, I do like this here, this in spite of this. So therefore in that case you will find, that is if we are going for this then we change the direction, and if the change the direction and the goal is that side and our intensity is this opposite side, then definitely in that case we will not be able to attaining a goal. To attain a goal, it becomes very much important, that is we are supposed to make a clear cut direction, and if the direction is clear, then definitely all efforts made into this your all intensity which you are making the investment, that will be into the direction of the goal. And persistence of efforts, that is the again we are putting the full efforts, and then these full efforts that will lead towards this particular goal. So it is very important, that is if we are going for this particular direction, then in the right direction, putting the right efforts, then definitely we will be able to achieve that is this particular goal. So the question arises, that is how hard a person tries, and therefore if the person's efforts are so many efforts are there which are connecting, and then in that case if these efforts are towards the beneficial of the goal, then definitely we will be able to attain the goal. But many times you will find that there are the barriers, and if the barriers are there, then those barriers will create a problem, and if these barriers you have to come across this overcome these particular barriers, and then to overcome these particular barriers again and again you have to try. So if the constant efforts are made in this direction, then definitely in that case the person will be able to attain the goal. So to attain the goal, this particular intention, that becomes very important. So here when we talk about the motivation, so motivation is having an intensity, say that is how hard a person tries, then that is on which direction the person is trying its goal, and third is the persistence, how long a person tries, and therefore in that case it becomes very important, that is we are having our intensity, direction and persistence towards the attainment of goal. Now when we are talking about the hierarchy of need theory, now in this theory there is a 5 needs are there, and these needs when we talk about, then it will be that is the first will be the physiological need. This then safety, then social, then self-esteem and self-actualization. So, here we will find that is the safety, social esteem and the self actualization. As each need is substantially satisfied, the next need becomes the dominant. Now, here is the criticism of the Maslow's theory of the hierarchy of needs. But before going to the criticism, now let us understand the theory first. So, in understanding the theory, according to Maslow, that there are these 5 needs are there, and these 5 needs are, that is, it will be starting from the physiological need. So, if the physiological need, unless and until the physiological need is not satisfied, then it will be the, when it is substantially satisfied, then only there will be the need of the safety. And when safety need is satisfied, then only there will be need of the social. And what we are talking about, the interpersonal dynamics and relationship, and that is a social need. So, our focus is, that is the towards this particular social need. So, in social need, it becomes very important, that is the your first physiological and safety needs are satisfied. But this is this hierarchy is not necessarily a condition. So, therefore, when we talk about that there is a this particular hierarchy is there, only like when your physiological need is satisfied, then your the safety need is satisfied, then only your HR need or the socialization need or interpersonal need that will arise. But the criticism is no, not necessary. Practically, it has been found that is these needs may not be in the hierarchy. So, many freedom fighters, those who are struggling for the freedom, and then what were their needs? So, their needs were not the physiological and safety, right. Their needs were the self actualization, that is their dream and goal they wanted to achieve for the nation, and therefore, they were not worried. So, it is not that is their first physiological need was satisfied, then safety need was satisfied, then social, then self esteem need was satisfied, and then self actualization is there. So, therefore, we have to understand that is these needs are perfectly fine, but they are not into hierarchy. So, according to the Maslow's theory, the needs are okay, but they are not into the hierarchy. So, therefore, it is these needs, the most important need which arise, that is a self actualization. And that self actualization is the drive to become what one is capable of becoming, what he wants to be. As I have given the example of the freedom fighter. So, therefore, he wants to be the fight for the freedom of the nation, and therefore, in that case it will be the self actualization need, and he will ignore all these physiological, safety, social and self esteem needs. Then Maslow again explained these needs into the levels, that is the lower order needs and the higher order needs are there. So, when we are talking about the physiological, safety and up to the certain extent the social needs, then they are becoming the lower order needs is there. While when we are talking about the some part of the social need, self esteem need and self actualization need, and therefore, these needs are the higher order needs. So, needs that are satisfied internally, social esteem and self actualization needs are there, and these are becoming the higher order needs are there. So, again the classification of need into the lower order needs, into the higher order needs, that is perfectly fine. But when we are talking about the higher order needs, so those higher order needs are the true introspection of the individual. When we are talking about this up to certain extent, that is these are social, only some part is there, and then the most of the part of the social need and self actualization need, these are the higher needs, and these higher needs right? That is giving the satisfaction to the employee, to the human being also, and naturally at the workplace to an employee. There another theory that is Douglas McGregor has given, and he has said that there are two types of the managers are there. So theory X assumes that employees dislike work, lack ambition, avoid responsibility, and must be directed and corrected to perform. And here the role of interpersonal relationship, that is the leadership, you can say, that is becoming very important. If there is a role of the leadership or interpersonal relationship, then it will become a very important. So interpersonal relations here, and that is the what type of the relationship will be there. So this relationship here, it may, for this type of the people, may convert into the autocratic style. So when we are talking about this type of the theory X type of the employees or workers, then definitely in that case the managing the relationship, and that will be that relationship management will be through the it will be interpersonal relations, that is the autocratic style will be there. The theory Y assumes that employees like work, seek responsibility, are capable of making decisions and exercise self direction and self control when committed to a goal. Now, it is very interesting to note that is the whenever there are these such type of employees, when we talk about the great workplace. So, great workplace is because of their employees, and those employees, and therefore it is not only their bread and butter job, but it is their hobby. They like their work, and therefore they want to do their work, and therefore they seek responsibility, and they in seek responsibility it becomes very important, that is they want to serve, they want to do, they want to contribute. So, when the percentage 100% in any organization, it is not possible that 100% will be X and 100% will be Y. There will be always a mix of these theory X and theory Y. So, normally the Jake Welch has given a formula, that is the 20% employees, they are star employees, right. That is the they are fully governed by the theory X, theory Y, sorry. And when they are 70% those who are mediocre, and those who are the mediocre, they are partially covered, right, into the theory Y, because they want to they like the job, seek responsibility, but their capability is the mediocre capability is there. That is the difference between the star and mediocre here in theory Y. But 10% employees may be in the organization belonging to the theory X. So, what do you think? What will be the interpersonal relationship dynamics? If you are a manager, if you are the head of that particular group, where the 10% are theory X and the 70% are from theory Y, and the 20% are fully theory Y, then in that case how will you maintain your relationship at the workplace? So, you are right, that is you have to make the mixed relationship, and then the mixed relationship that is the whenever you are having the employees, you are interacting with the employees of belonging to theory X, then your leadership style should be autocratic. But when you are talking about the theory Y, then your leadership should be participative. So, therefore, in that case when we decide to make an interpersonal relationship at the workplace, dear friends, it is very important. When then we classify the employees into the theory X and theory Y, and then accordingly we should be capable to tune up ourselves in the direction of this particular aspect of the leadership, that is the if the employees, I am interacting with an employee who dislikes work, lack ambition and avoid responsibility, then definitely I have to correct him with the help of autocratic style of leadership. But if most of the employees in my unit, if they are employees, they like work, seek responsibility, are capable of making the decisions and exercise self direction and self control, then definitely we will find they are committed to a goal. We should have the participative style of the leadership, and therefore in this if we go what type of relationship strategy will be there in Maslow's theory to maintain the interpersonal relationship. To maintain the interpersonal relationship in Maslow's theory, that is the satisfying the needs of the employees. But this is another challenge for the Maslow's theory. You should be capable to really understand the need of the employee. Otherwise, you might be satisfying his social need and then he is in the need of the self actualization, then definitely it will be mismatch. So, if you want to match the need and the satisfaction of need to maintain the interpersonal relationship at the workplace, so be expert in understanding the need, right. Now, please also understand the difference between the need and the wants. So, you may say that is the employee may have the undesirable needs. No, they are undesirable wants. When any person is having the undesirable intentions, then I would like to say that it is the want. That is the employee wants like this, but I am not saying to satisfy the wants, I am saying to satisfy the needs, and therefore in that case it becomes very important. That is the as far as the Maslow's theory of motivation is concerned, you can maintain the good interpersonal relationship with the help of the satisfying the needs. So, understand the needs. Don't make mistake in understanding the needs and satisfy the needs. Don't make mistake in understanding the needs and wants. So, you are not responsible to satisfy the wants, you are responsible for the satisfying the need, and the wants is the next level, where if it is genuine and desirable, definitely you can work on that. And when we talk about the another theory of this theory X and theory Y, if you want to maintain a good interpersonal dynamics, not interpersonal relationship, I am saying interpersonal dynamics. Because why it is dynamics? Because now in the McGregor's theory we are talking about the different types of employees of theory X and theory Y, and therefore if theory X type of the employees are there, your interpersonal dynamics will be smooth. In the case you are having the autocratic style of leadership. If you will not have the autocratic style of leadership, then in that you will not get the results, output will be 0. So, therefore, in that case, but if you are having the employees theory Y, don't go again, don't mismatch your theory Y type of the employees with the autocratic style. No, then it will be participative style of leadership. So, when you will have the participative style of leadership, you will be able to become the successful in this particular organization and at the workplace. When Maslow was doing the work on these theories of need theories, similarly the Herzberg was working on that Frederick Herzberg was working on the two-factor theory. So, Husbach said that is the motivation hygiene theory. Intrinsic factors are related to the job satisfaction, while extrinsic factors are associated with the dissatisfaction. And what are the intrinsic factors? If you recall my last session, and in which I have talked about the intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation and amotivation, and therefore in that case it is within oneself. And when we are talking about the intrinsic factors, I will further discuss also intrinsic factors are related to the job satisfaction, then we have to while extrinsic factors are associated with the dissatisfaction. The hygiene factors, which are the hygiene factors are there, such as company policy and the administration, supervision and salary, that when adequate in a job they placate workers. When factors are adequate, people will not be dissatisfied. So, actually in the next slide you will find it has been mentioned, that is the how this slide I would like to take first, that is the contrasting views of the satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So, when I am talking about the hygiene factors, now here you will find that is hygiene factors are here dissatisfaction and no dissatisfaction, right. So, therefore, if we go by the definitions of the hygiene factors, so which are hygiene factors? Company policy. So, company policy is good, so there is no dissatisfaction. It is good, it is serving me in the way I want, and therefore I am governed by the right policies, and these policies are helping me to lead my routine life. So, therefore, there is no dissatisfaction. Okay, fine, company policy is good. Suppose example medical policy. So, company policy is good. So, therefore, there is no dissatisfaction, right. But when I talk about the supervision and salary, that when adequate in a job, so my salary, yeah, I am satisfied, it is okay. So, no problem. No problem statement shows there is no dissatisfaction, and then there is a when there is a adequate job is there, that is a job, I am not overburdened with my job, not I am the underloaded with my job, the job which I am supposed to do, yes, I am doing. So, therefore, in that case these will be the hygiene factors. So, therefore, in case of the hygiene factors, we have to talk about the no dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction is already there, satisfaction, dissatisfaction. So, here it is a traditional view, that is a satisfaction and dissatisfaction, right. But when Husbach's view comes, then in that case we will find that is the not only the satisfaction and dissatisfaction, in between the satisfaction and dissatisfaction, in between here and here you will find there is no satisfaction and no dissatisfaction. This we can further also clearly understand with the help of this particular wonderful slide. Like for example, percentage frequency, when we talk about the hygiene factors, and then the motivators is there. So, then the ratio and percentage, when we are going into the ratio and percentage. So, therefore, you will find that is the in the hygiene factors it is a 31 to 69 it is going, while it is in the motivators factors, all factors contributing to job dissatisfaction, right, and all factors they are contributing to job satisfaction, and therefore, there is no dissatisfaction. So, comparison of the satisfiers and dissatisfiers. A beautiful study has been done here, that is the factors characterizing events on the job that lead to extreme job dissatisfaction. Factors characterizing event on the job that lead to extreme job satisfaction. Extreme job satisfactions are the growth, advancement, responsibility given to the employee, nature of work itself, recognition at the workplace, and achievement goal. So, these are the factors they are getting the totally the even lead to extreme the job satisfaction. When we are talking about the factors characterizing event on the job that lead to extreme job dissatisfaction, and in extreme job dissatisfaction it will be company policy and administration, supervision, relationship with supervisor, work conditions, salary, relationship with peers, personal life, and you see there is a some part is going into the extreme job satisfaction also. So, percentage and frequency. So, therefore, in case of the percentage and frequency in the 0 to 50 in the factors, they are characterizing events on the job that lead to extreme job satisfaction, and factors they are lead to extreme the job satisfaction, and in from 0 to 50 here you will find some part of the job dissatisfaction is also into the job satisfaction. So, here the relationship with the subordinates, relationship with the peers. Then the status and then the security is there, right. So, here we will find that is the major concern, our major concern with respect to this particular subject, and that is becoming, that is the relationship with peers and the relationship with subordinates. When we talk about the relationship with peers and relationship with the subordinates, that is the factors characterizing events on the job that lead to the extreme job dissatisfaction. So, therefore, in that case, if there is no proper relationship with the peers and with the subordinates at the workplace, we will find that is these are the characteristics that lead to the extreme job dissatisfaction. And in the 50% you will find that is it is becoming very important. So, we have to highly concern to maintain a proper relationship with peers and the subordinates at the workplace, and then only we will be able to minimize the dissatisfaction and enhancing the extreme job satisfaction factors will be important. This slide I have already discussed. This is the ERG theory, and that is there are three groups of coordinates: existence, relatedness and the growth. So, here there is a need of the interpersonal relationship, relatedness, desire for relationship is there, and whenever we are talking about there is a relatedness theory, that is the interpersonal relationship theory, that can be operative at the same time. The need cannot be fulfilled, then there will be the lower needs will be satisfied. So, therefore, now here the McLelland's theory of needs, it talks about need of power, need of achievement and need of affiliation, and in the need of affiliation we are talking about the interpersonal relationship. So, it means that is if you want to motivate your employees, and then you have to satisfy the need of affiliation. So, need for affiliation for friendly and close personal relationships. So, this theory help us, that is to maintain a good interpersonal relationship, that we have to satisfy the need of affiliation, that is the how we can have a better relationship at the workplace. And when we are satisfying this interpersonal relationship, then the employees will be motivated. So, if somebody asks you that is why, but it is a professional relationship. The professional relationship should be friendly, and there should be the close personal relationship to understand each other's personality, and then getting the personality job fit model, Holland's model, to know that is yes, we can work together, and that is a need for affiliation is there. Goal setting theory, therefore, already I have discussed in the first slide, that is about the goal setting theory is there, and then identify when the job characteristics model we talk about. So, how we understand our employees. So, we understand our employees with the skill variety, task identity and task significance, autonomy and feedback. And therefore, in that case we will find that this particular job design theory that works. So, if we want to keep good interpersonal relationship at our workplace, then definitely we have to see that our employees are highly motivated. Highly motivated employees, very good interpersonal relationship, and as a result of which we will get the attainment of goals by the individual and by the organization both. Thank you.